Welcome back to the UNA Lunch Hour from 306 Barbecue in downtown Florence. Benjamin Ray and Mike Ezekiel hanging out with you. And don't forget, North Alabama's at home this Saturday against Alston P. 4 p.m. It's senior day, your final chance to catch the Lions this season at home. We're happy to welcome in head football coach Brent Dearman. And Coach, I asked Mike this at the start of the broadcast. Feels like just yesterday you guys were opening practice. We had our first game down in Montgomery, and now it's our final home game with just 3 games remaining. Where has this season gone?
You know, it's kind of twofold. Where one aspect, you feel like it's been eternity since we've been in Montgomery playing SEMO, but then another day you feel like the season's gone by so fast. So between starting in July with fall camp all the way to now, with the injuries starting to rack up, the nicks and bruises starting to rack up, that's really what lets you know it's been a long season. But, man, you feel like time's flying for sure, and we've got to enjoy this moment. You got to enjoy every single day. Last home game, especially for these seniors, it's going to be a great moment for these guys.
Central Arkansas, last week's opponent, Coach, on the road at Estes Stadium. The stripes, purple and gray. Final score of that one, we drop it to the number 10 ranked team in the nation, 24-19. Had a shot at the end of the ball game, Coach. Take us through your final thoughts and takeaways after you've had time to go back and watch the game film.
You know, it's one we probably kick ourselves the most after looking back at the season, where you won. I felt like we won in all 3 phases of the game, where defensively you hold the conference's probably best, if not the nation's best rushing attack to 59 yards of rushing offense. You take away 2 big plays in the passing game that really didn't end up having very much. I thought our defense did a phenomenal job of flying to the football. The only thing we didn't do was create a turnover, and that's something that we really stressed our guys on that side of the ball this week. We got to create turnovers where we got multiple sacks against an offensive line unit that did a really good job of taking care of their quarterback throughout the season. But we did a good job of creating pressure, putting pressure on their quarterback. We stopped their 2 running backs. They were really talented football players. So excited with our defense, offensive or special teams wise. I thought it was our best special teams performance of the year. You know, you look at Justin Luke's here today, had over 100 yards in the return game. Kobe Warden had 3 punt returns for big runs as well. We had 2 block punts. One of them got called back. Very controversial call, but don't get me started and fired up today. But 2 block punts, one of which would have ended up really changing the momentum of the game. I thought overall best special teams performance since I've been here. And then offensively, you take away the 5 turnovers, we had a good game. I mean, you have 17 plays of 12 yards or more in that game. We're able to get multiple people involved, playing against quite possibly the best FCS player in David Walker. I think the guy's going to get a Senior Bowl invite. He may get drafted. He's a very talented player. We allowed him to play too much of a factor in that game. He created 3 of those turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, we win this game. In a game you had 5 turnovers, you lose by 5 points against a number 10 ranked team on the road. I was very proud of our guys with how we performed, how we played on the road. We just got to eliminate the turnovers.
Coach, I think you said it best right there. To be within 5 points, despite the 5 turnovers, the margin there, I think a big part of that. Let's go back to the offense a little bit. Not only did you outgain Central Arkansas, but something we've done really well all year and maybe haven't talked about a whole lot is the first downs. I mean, we rank, I think, 20th in FCS right now in first downs, second in the league behind Abilene Christian. And you had 24 first downs last week, moving the chains, 13 of those passing, 7 of those rushing. So just constantly moving those chains is important. But just talk about what that's been like for you as a play caller and to see that from your offense.
You know, the games we've taken care of the ball, you feel more confident as a play caller. You feel like everything is there. You feel like you can call anything on the play sheet. But in games like that where you're worried about turnover, you kind of get a little timid as a play caller. You worry, you know, we're in the passing game. We had a turnover right before half, where it's really not. We put it on TJ. It's an interception, but at the end of the day, TJ's arm's getting hit as he's throwing that football, and a lot of people probably don't see that because it's so close. But if you make a good throw, you have good protection, we make that catch, we get a touchdown going into halftime right there. It's probably a different football game where you come out, you get a little bit of run happy. Well, we have a turnover by Ben Harris on a fumble. You have a fumble by Dennis Moody. So you get a little bit worried then in the run game. So it gets in your head as a play caller. And in those 3 or 4 games, you really look at Tarleton State. Tarleton was a 4th game that we didn't really turn the ball over that much. The whole playbook's open, and you feel confident. So we got to eliminate those turnovers, and it's going to help all of us.
Coach, let's talk about the defense that held Central Arkansas to a season-low 306 yards. We already mentioned the 56 rushing yards. Third downs, they went 2 for 13. Just how balled in, what was everyone on the defensive side of the football for that challenge against perhaps the best offense in the league?
I thought overall, I said stopping the run, but to stop a veteran quarterback, I think I heard that their quarterback, Will McElvain's got 10,000 yards passing in his career. What he does a good job of is he doesn't turn the ball over. That's why UCA is a good team, because their quarterback's efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over. They've got a good run game. So we knew that we were going to have to be stout. We knew we were going to slow them down. We knew we were going to get them to third down. And I thought our defense did a really good job. Coach Caraboe and the defensive staff do a really good job of scheming up different third down blitz packages and looks. And we're not scared to play man coverage. We've got some DBs that can come up and press and get in guys' face and put pressure on people. So to go 2 of 13 on third down, you look on the other side of the ball, we're 6 of 13, which is a pretty good third down number against a really stout defense. So I think overall you win the total yards, you win the third down battle. The only battle you didn't win is the turnover battle. So that's going to be a reoccurring theme. That's been something we've talked about in practice all week this week. But defense did a really good job on third down for sure.
Coach, you already kind of touched on it, but let's dive a little deeper into special teams. I mean, a lot of notable things that happened there. You talked about the block punt, one that was negated by a holding away from the play, but then to go back and block another one, that was the first blocked punt since 2021. Justin Luke had that long 82-yard return. That was the first one since 2019, or the longest one since 2019. And then a lot of other things kind of happened there. Their punt returner came in as the leading punt returner in the UAC, held him to -6 yards. I mean, just impressive. But what were some things that stood out to you about the special teams?
I mean, you've named a lot of big ones right there. You look at Sam Cortorno comes in and has a touchback kick. Anytime you get a touchback kick, you eliminate a dynamic guy from making a play. So for him to start off that way, then we went to our sky kick game where they were not prepared for that, so they fair catch every one of them. So you're getting our defenses starting on the 25-yard line every time. So kickoff team, phenomenal job there, but it all goes into our kickers right there. Punt team, Adam has had I've been challenging him all year. He's had a decent year. He's just been up and down. This game was his overall best game. Adam was able to flip the field multiple times in punt. And then our coverage units, because Adam did such a good job of putting hang time on the ball, our coverage unit guys, Justin Luke's one of the gunners on punt, gets down there, is right there in his face as soon as he's catching the football. So we did a good job of stopping our conference's probably most dynamic return man in the return game, in the punt return game, to negative yardage. You look at field goal. We only kicked one field goal. Had a successful field goal there on the extra point. I mean, kickoff return, best return in years here, and it's been really close. Justin's had a couple that's been one guy away every time from getting to that, and that really sparked us, led to our first touchdown of the game. But I thought our punt return unit was probably the best. You look at Rye Fletcher, the first punt, Rye Fletcher had a chance to block it, and I think it was just true freshman going in there of being a little timid. And then the second time he goes in there and gets it. And that was the one that was called back for a holding away from the play. The tough part with it, the conference has come in and said that shouldn't have been called. I said, well, I wish you wouldn't have even told me that, because that changes the football game. We get the ball at the 12-yard line with our offense going on the field right there. And then Caleb McDougal comes in and makes a block going right through the shield. And then Kobe had 3 returns. And in his 3 returns, we averaged over 15 yards a return, I believe.
46 yards total.
So by my math, that's about 15 yards.
Yeah, that's right. 15 and
former math teacher.
15.3, something like that.
So I thought it was our best special teams today. Some people may not agree with that, but I think for sure it's our best special teams today.
So, Coach, a tough one last week against Central Arkansas. Now we turn our attention to Austin Peay, the team shared the conference championship or won the conference championship a season ago. new head coach. They've brought in a lot of new players as well. What can you tell us about Austin Peay as a whole as they've got a new regime that's taken over?
They're still a really good football team. You look at they play Tarleton State, who's currently the leader in our conference. They played them really tight at 17-17 at the end of the third quarter. I think they're just now starting to figure it all out, where they brought in a lot of transfers. They got a brand new staff. I think early on in the season it was about getting to know each other, getting to know the system, and they working the kinks out. And now they're playing really good. They've got some weapons on the offensive side of the ball that are scary, that can really hurt you. They got some home run threats. Quarterbacks are playing well. I think defensively they do a really good job of trying to confuse you, trying to give you different looks. They fly around to the football. They play hard, and all those things go back to coaching. If your kids are playing hard, that's a testament to you as a coach. So I think we've got our hands full this weekend with a good Austin Peay team.
Coach, I guess let's talk a little bit about this. We were looking at the Massey ratings. It's something that, we kind of enjoy doing. And, we've played a lot of ranked teams all year. We have the 23rd toughest strength of schedule out of 129 FCS teams, 13th according to the NCAA metric. And, Coach, we've been in a lot of games where we're the underdog, and I think we've been in 2 games where we're the favorite. But you're looking at this game, and you got teams that are separated by only 4 spots in the power rankings. It's just really exciting to see 2 pretty evenly matched teams. What's your assessment on that, bringing in a team that it feels like it's anybody's ball game?
I fully agree with you. I think we've done we're going to do a good job of challenging our players this week. We've been all over the place this year with our schedule. You just said it. We got one of the toughest schedules in college football. I think SEMO's still sitting at number 5 or number 6 in the country. Illinois State's been in and out of the rankings. UT Martin's in line to win the OVC. Memphis, I think, still has 1 loss, maybe to Navy or something like that. So we've played some really good opponents, and then getting into the conference schedule, we're 3-2 in conference. With the 2 losses being a tough loss to Tarleton State, a tough loss last week to UCA, and Austin Peay's pretty similar to that. Austin Peay's coming off of a very tough game against Tarleton State. They're coming off a tough win against Utah Tech. So I think you're looking at 2 very well-matched teams on paper. And we've got to do a great job this week of taking care of business, take care of the football. At the end of the day, this game's about taking care of the football. And I think the team that does that is going to come out with a win.
Continues this weekend against Austin Peay at home at Brawley Stadium at 4 p.m. We'll take a timeout. We'll let Coach Dearman go get some grub here at 306 Barbecue in downtown Florence. We got 3 players in the house. We've got Ryan Walker, Kobe Warden, and Justin Luke. We'll see who wants to go first. We'll catch up with Coach Dearman here in just a little bit. You're listening to the UNA Lunch Hour from 306 Barbecue in downtown Florence on WLX.